Welcome back to This Side of 40. This is your girl Lou. I am about to embark on answering some questions that have been asked of me, and I was trying to figure out a way to really have this conversation. And over the last few months, I've been avoiding putting up this particular type of video, because I do not want to upset or offend anyone. So without further ado, this is going to be facts and fiction about hair and what cosmetology really does and does not teach you. If you are a cosmetologist and you're watching this, I just want you to be honest with your customers, because going forward, I'm just going to get rid of all the myths. If you are a person who makes YouTube videos about hair and you give out information, you just looked it up online and you didn't go to school for cosmetology, I feel like you should have took the next step and gotten to school for cosmetology so that you could be able to give proper information. There are people who call themselves trichologists, and that means they study the hair. I myself am always kind of looking it up through trichology. I'm not just giving out information without the proper research. So without further ado, this is going to be on conditioning and shampooing, and we'll go into some other videos along the way. So let's just be honest. Shampoo and conditioning does play a big part in how much your hair will grow, as well as how it will, the health of your hair going forward. There is a difference between regular conditioners, leave-in conditioners, and deep conditioners, and I feel like a lot of times people are not getting proper information. So let's start off with shampoos. Shampoos come in three different kinds of shampoos. There are the moisturizing, there are color care, there are shampoos that are that contain treatments in them, and then there are shampoos that are clarifying. So let's start off with clarifiers. A clarifier will get all buildup and or product out of your hair. So if you're a person who has takes medications for health issues, as well as you are one of those people who load your hair up with products, a clarifier would get your hair reset all the way back to base, so it would feel squeaky clean like glass. I believe that every person who gets their hair done or does their hair should clarify their hair at least once a month. That way you can reset all of the products that are in your hair, because if you're not using a clarifier, then all of those products are building back up on your hair, so you are really not getting your hair 100% clean at any point. Color care shampoos are shampoos that are made, most of which have low or no sulfates in them, that are make it so that you're not shampooing out your color, because clarifying and moisturizing shampoos can remove a part of your color. Moisturizing shampoos will push the color out because it's a larger molecule, and it pushes the color out of the hair. So color care shampoos are an important thing. I know a lot of people feel like when you go to a salon, people are always telling you to buy this or that, but if you're investing in color or highlights, please do so. Now, as far as moisturizing shampoos, be very careful with shampoos that say that they do not have sulfates, because sulfates are there for a reason. Sulfates are actually meant to help get your hair completely clean, and the sulfates are they're the molecule that makes the soap agitate and cause bubbles or foam, and it is very important. So if you do use a sulfate-free shampoo, at least, like I said, once a month, clarify your hair and get all of that buildup out. Cold wash shampoos or conditioning washes or conditioning rinses, they serve an amazing purpose. What they do is to make it so that your hair is not stripped all the way back down to the base like with a clarifier. However, like I said, over time, you would like to use a clarifier to get that out so that you can make sure that your hair has been 100% clean and to get rid of all bacteria that can build up in or around your hair. So I know one of my clients, and she already knows who she is. You asked me about the WEN product. WEN and the guy who owns WEN, which was a good product. I just feel like a lot of people were not informed completely on WEN. WEN is a conditioning wash. And there's nothing wrong with conditioning washes. Your hair would feel softer. It will hold color longer because you're not using anything that's going to strip or get your hair all the way 100% back to base. However, you should shampoo your hair with a cleansing shampoo, not a cleansing wash or conditioning wash, because over time you can over soften your hair and it will make it break off or come out, and it's not going to happen on everybody the same exact way. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, my friend used it for years and never had a problem, and then you had another friend who used it for 2 months and their hair started breaking off. Everyone's hair is different, so that's just the honesty in it. Now, conditioners, and the reason why I'm bringing up conditioners is because I had a client say to me on Friday that she uses a regular conditioner in her hair every day, and she just wets her hair and she uses that as like a leave-in conditioner so her curls will spring up, and it looked good for quite a long time. However, recently her hair has started breaking off, and the reason why is conditioners, regular conditioners like the ones you're supposed to use every time you wash your hair, not a deep conditioning treatment, those conditioners are made to soften the hair, but they are not meant to stay on the hair for prolonged periods of time. So make sure that when you use a conditioner, you rinse it out. It's very important. Leave-in conditioners have been diluted, sometimes with water, but other things as well, like aloe, coconut oil, olive oil, just different things that are meant to kind of dilute that and add that same conditioning to your hair, but it's not going to be a prolonged conditioning. It's just going to go and it will basically dissipate, so it'll evaporate off of your hair over time. Now, conditioning treatments. All conditioning treatments are made a particular type of way, and if you do not read manufacturer's directions, most of the time you will cause the same amount of damage as getting a relaxer, a color, or highlights with bleach, because those conditioners are considered to be a chemical. They will modify your hair for a temporary amount of time. So like basically you do a deep conditioning treatment and for the next week your hair is amazing. So that is something that you have to pay attention to. Conditioning treatments can be done weekly or more than once a week depending on your hair texture, but that's going to be up to you and a stylist, and you should actually go to someone when you're doing that. Most, and I'm just saying this because I know quite a few different brands of salons, but most salons will offer you a free consultation. That means you're not paying for them to tell you what products you need to use. Now, conditioning treatments are not meant to be left on the hair prolonged periods of time. I see a lot of people here on YouTube that have said that they've left their conditioning treatments on their hair overnight, or they made their conditioners at home and then left them for longer than 30 to 45 minutes. Your hair can only take so much of a conditioning treatment. It's only going to accept so much of it. That's the reason why you should do them weekly. And if you have ethnic hair, you should wash your hair at least once a week, and you should deep condition your hair every time you wash your hair. If you have other types of hair, and I'm going to just call it off, like if you're Caucasian, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, any people from islands, you would want to wash your hair at least twice a week, and one of those times use a regular conditioner, and on the other time do a deep conditioning treatment. Please do not let your conditioning treatment sit on your hair more than 5 to 15 minutes unless product says otherwise. If you have ethnic hair, at the most, you will want to let your conditioner sit at 45 minutes. If you go under a dryer, you need to cut that time in half because the dryer is forcing the conditioner to go inside of your hair strands and penetrate, so it's actually blowing up the hair follicle. So instead of it being closed, because hair under a microscope looks like the roof of a house, the shingles are laying flat, and when you use that heat, it pushes those flaps up and it forces the conditioner in. And then when you rinse it, because you're supposed to use cold water to rinse conditioning treatments, rinse those off. A lot of people say that they use hair mask. Hair mask and deep conditioning treatments are the same thing. It's just a fancier way of saying it, and they have put a couple of extra products in them. A lot of people used to get a thing called a hot oil treatment. Hot oil treatments were meant to make the flexibility of your hair come back. So basically, they would take an oil and they would warm it up and put it on the hair, and that way it would coat the hair and open the hair at the same time, and that would put the oil back inside of the hair shaft, just like I said with the roof example, and then it would seal that oil in, and that would make the hair be more pliable and flexible so that the hair would not break. Now, there are several different kinds of leave-in conditioners, and I'm bringing this up because a lot of people don't understand that you can't use the same products on all hair types. Ethnic hair and other hair are completely different hairs. So like if you're biracial, you should make sure that your hair texture is being taken care of accordingly. If you have a finer texture, you should not use conditioners that are thick. Leave-in conditioners should not be thick for people with fine hair. If you have very thick, coarsy hair, and I'm not just talking about Africans or African Americans or people who have African descent, Asians, some Middle Easterns, some Indians, people from other countries can use conditioners that are pasty. And what I mean by pasty is they come as a conditioner, a leave-in conditioner that's a cream. And when you use creamy leave-in conditioners, you should not ever be using more than a tablespoon at a time. Just so that you make sure that you're not overloading the hair with the conditioner, because you, like I said before, you can make your hair weaker by using too much leave-in conditioner. A lot of people do the LOC method, so basically they put something moisturizing in their hair, then they put the leave-in conditioner on top of that, and then they lock all of that in with a heavy oil or a lightweight oil. Be very careful when you're doing that, because some people's hair cannot take that and it will weaken the integrity. Just like if you use a protein or a keratin, you can overly harden or put too much protein in your hair and make your hair weak. Just like if you use too much moisture, you can make your hair weak. So the ideal is if you're conditioning your hair, let's say weekly. For example, me, when my hair grows out, I usually use a moisturizing conditioner 1 week. The following week, I'll use a keratin to build back up the strength. Then the next week, I'll use a moisturizer again. And then the following week, I'll use protein to make sure that the integrity of the hair and the thing that makes the hair strongest is all in there. So I hope this video has helped someone. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the link below. And I'll talk to you guys about this next month. All right.